Good evening. I'm Anna Laurel.
And I'm Monty Torres. Thank you for joining us. It's a story you'll see here only on KMPH News. Our Nicole Garcia and a photographer went to Bass Lake to cover the story about a baby boy who fell out of a van and landed on his head. Nicole joins us. And Nicole, the man who confronted you was at the lake while his son was in the hospital?
That's right, Montana. I was very surprised. I did not expect to find the father, 33-year-old Mark McMurray, still at the picnic area where his baby fell out of the car. I expected he would be at the hospital with his son. Also, the Madera County Sheriff's officials released his name, so I knew his name, but I didn't know what he looked like. So when I first approached him, I didn't know who he was, and he denied knowing anything about the incident. Furthermore, he was hostile toward me, so I didn't press any further. But later on, he approached us in the parking lot, and this is what happened.
Hey, can you please move that somewhere else? Mark, stop it. Please move somewhere else.
Stop it.
Mark, stop. Seriously.
Stop it.
Mark, hey, you know what? You don't need to be videotaping me right now.
Mark, hey, you just harassed me right now.
Hey, you know, you're harassing me, my face. Get away from my car.
Mark.
If Mark McMurray hadn't charged at us, we wouldn't have known he was the one accused of leaving his 8.5-month-old son alone in this van at Bass Lake. Detectives believe the baby crawled out the broken window and landed head first. He was flown to the hospital where we expected his parents would be. Instead, the father was still at the lake just hours after the fall.
You guys are pushing me to the point.
Bother you? This isn't about you. We're not.
Yes, this is about me. Move the out of the way. Is that simple? Move!
Mark, please leave.
Shortly after this confrontation, he left with his family without hurting myself or my photographer. But McMurray does have a history of hurting children.
Get on my face. Get away from my car.
Mark.
Jail records show he was arrested on 3 counts of child abuse last year and spent more than 2 months in jail before he was released.
It sounds pretty serious if he was arrested for that, and that children are not, important to him as far as safety is concerned. Then why does he have them?
Parents at the picnic area for a high school event say they're appalled McMurray is allowed to care for his son given his criminal history.
Use common sense. Look at the history, look at the background, and really think about your decision. Use common sense.
Child Protective Services is now in charge of the baby and no longer in the hands of this man, his father.
Can you please move that somewhere else?
Mark,
Can you please move somewhere else?
Stop it.
Mark, stop.
Seriously.
Now, Madera County Sheriff's deputies say they did not arrest McMurray after the fall because the investigation is still ongoing, and that's why we ended up finding him at the lake instead of in jail. Now, I did contact CPS about why McMurray was still allowed to care for his son after being arrested on felony child abuse charges. A deputy manager said he could not speak specifically about the case, but did say that a person's criminal history doesn't always mean that they automatically lose the opportunity to be reunited with their child. And we're told that the baby boy is expected to be all right, and he's expected to make a full recovery.
Nicole, what impact will this latest incident have on his ability to retain custody of his son?
We do not know yet. Again, the investigation is still ongoing. Deputies did respond to the incident, but McMurray had already left the scene when they arrived, so we should wait and see.
And to review once again, you had no idea who he was till he walked up and did that.
Absolutely not. All I knew was his name. I didn't at the time have a picture of him, so and I only approached him because when we got there he was one of the only people at the picnic area at the time. So I had no clue who he was, and again, initially he denied knowing anything about the incident.
Well, we all know now. Thanks, Nicole. A witness to the confrontation called deputies, but McMurray had already left by the time they arrived. Again, the investigation is still ongoing, but deputies say McMurray could face a new charge of felony child abuse.